Me again. Roses part two. I completely forgot to talk about the difference between sine versus cosine. You may notice that when you are dealing with roses that have sine, they have been rotated. And the reason why has to do with the original equation. Think about just the sine of an angle. Where does the sine reach its maximum? Which angle causes it? Well, remember that sine ranges from -1 to 1. Okay, so when we think unit circle, the farthest out in y we can go is 1 or -1. What angle causes the sine to equal 1? Pi over 2, right? The sine of pi over 2 is 1. So if we multiply the sine, or if this angle inside of the parentheses becomes pi over 2, we're going to be at our maximum value. Well, think about what value of t would cause the inside of the parentheses to equal pi over 2. It would be pi over 6. If you double that number that's in front of the t and you put that underneath pi, so pi over double that number, when you multiply it by 3, you're going to get pi over 2 every single time. Well, think about subbing in for t, pi over 6. That's going to take you to your maximum because the sine of 3 times pi over 6 is going to give you the sine of pi over 2, which is 1, times 2. It's going to take you to your maximum at pi over 6. Now, why is it different with cosine? Because think about where cosine takes on its maximum, 2t. Do I have to close parentheses? I don't know. Does it have parentheses? I don't think it does. I think we're okay. Nope. We're not okay. Let's just make mistakes and make a fool of myself. Do you like how my autocorrect goes to 2 toots? No, I don't mean 2 toots. Apparently, I may type 2 toots every now and then. It's kind of funny. Okay, so notice that with cosine, think about the cosine of what angle gives you your maximum. Well, the cosine of 0, right? Because at 0, if I said, what's the cosine of 0, you would tell me 1. So what is going to make the cosine of 2 times t equal to the cosine of 0? Well, a t value of 0. You start at the maximum. So that's why there's no rotation, because remember, cosine starts at the highest or lowest value, whereas sine does not. So with sine, you need to think about what's going to get you to that maximum. And again, that's going to happen when the sine of pi over 2 is happening. So whatever value of t makes that happen is what's going to cause that rotation and that angle that is going to give you the farthest out value for that